And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I have with me now City of Blue Ridge Mayor Donna Whitener. Mayor Whitener, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Well, thank you for being with us. And the reason we have the mayor with us is the water emergency in the city from the water plant and the pumps. Mayor, can you give us a brief, really brief summary of when the first pump went out and where we're at now? Just take us from the beginning up to now.
The first pump went out Friday night, sometime around 1 o'clock in the morning, and so that's the reason we had the conserve water notices out there at that point. They did get that pump running sometime the next day around 10 or 11 o'clock, and then it ran again until somewhere around 1 o'clock in the morning again. So we do have definitely something that's happening to our pumps. We have more than one pump, and we usually alternate those pumps. We run one day and one the next day, but right now both of those pumps are down. We have rented a pump that is here, and it actually went online this morning, probably about 45 minutes ago, actually. So we're back pumping water. Our water level in our tank got to a point to where we could serve people for probably a day, but it got critically low over the weekend, and that's why we were asking folks to come get bottled water, bring containers, and fill with the water station that was at City Hall. So, and we really appreciate all those folks that helped take some of the demand off of our tank. So thank you very much for getting the word out to you and all the people that were Facebook and other news media. We really need that.
Well, let me ask you a question. So there's actually two stationary pumps at the water plant. Both of the pumps that go to the water plant are not operating right now? Both of those?
Both of those are down.
And what you're pumping water with is a temporary pump that you brought in?
Yes, that started this morning. The other two pumps, one was out completely, pump number two. Pump number one, we were able to get it back up and running yesterday morning, and it ran till, I think it got back up about 10 or 11 o'clock, and then it ran till about 11:30 last night when I got the call, so it went back down. The new pump came in yesterday afternoon, but they needed to change out a panel on it, so they had to send someone to get that. So it is up and running, so I'm feeling like we'll be able to fill our tanks and be back and working in good working order.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question on pump one and pump two. I mean, what is it, just the power goes out, or is that just undetermined what's taking place there with one and two? And if one and two is not running and two's completely out and one runs for a little bit and then goes out, what's to tell us that the temporary pump is not going to stop running? Is it electricity? I mean, can you...
Well, the temporary pump is run off of diesel.
Okay, all right.
The other pumps are run off of electrical. You know, and it's caused some other problems throughout the plant. They've been able to address those problems with our mixers and our flocculators and things like that, but at this point, we don't know the root cause of the problem. We have a couple of things that we think have happened, and you know, they're trying to do some testing and things throughout this week to figure out, you know, what we need to get those pumps back online and back in operating order. But until they figure out the root cause, we're going to be pumping with this diesel pumper at that point, because we don't want it to get critically low again.
Are the pumps, and I want to get off of that, but are the pumps losing power in the night? Or, I mean, when you say the pump 1 shuts down and it just I don't know, it just seems strange that the pumps will run for a little bit and then shut down. So obviously it's very, very strange to you too, and probably all of your crew up there. So that's working so hard to get them running.
Yes, our crew has worked nonstop. They've been 24/7. So those guys have done a phenomenal job of keeping the plant running, even with the operations issues that they've been, you know, struggling with. But they have done all they can to get it back up at every point. And actually we were really surprised they got it back running yesterday. So we've got a phenomenal crew. They do a great job out there. And we've had engineers, we've had pump manufacturing folks here, we've had our contractors that built our new plant. We've had all kinds of folks at the plant this weekend, several different companies that were represented, trying to come up with, the root of the problem. We've had Tri-State out there. I mean, everybody has been hands-on.
All right, well, let me get back to the where we're at now. Where we're at now, there's a diesel pump in place that is running. So that is running. Hopefully that will increase the water levels to get us out of the danger area. But right now, if what I heard you correct, there is 1 day of water, and if the pump maintains, we should be okay. But the reality is there's a 1 day of water right now at the tanks.
As long as we have no leaks and we don't have issues with conservation, we really need people to conserve. A lot of companies and residents themselves are, there's no watering. Car washes are closed. So all those people that use high volumes of water have really cut back. The schools are doing a phenomenal job. They're actually using paper plates, paper products in any way. We've got bottled water there, so they're really, anybody that has large volumes of people and water usage are really trying to help us cut back.
Okay, but we still have a boil the water in effect. There's still a boil warning in effect for the water, correct?
It's a precautionary boil water, and since this new pump has went online, we will actually hopefully be able to get back with EPD today and see, if we have to continue that or if we will be able to lift that. So we're waiting on a call from EPD at this point.
So we're gonna continue to keep that. We continue to keep that till we hear from EPD. Correct?
Correct. On the precautionary boil water, I'm going to say that we're going to ask for the conserved water pretty much for the next 3 or 4 days until we really get our tank levels back to where they're full.
Well, Mayor, I appreciate you very much. Is there anything you wanted to share with the citizens or any information we didn't get a chance to talk about?
When we have these issues, these emergency issues, because we were within just a couple of hours of running out of water at that one tank, and the other tank doesn't feed all the way back to Blue Ridge. So anytime we send those out, we really need people to take it serious and help share the information with their neighbors that may not have internet or may not be able to get a news source. So anytime they see when we have a conserved water and they see their neighbor watering their yard or something, they may want to pass that information on. So we really appreciate all the help in getting the news out there.
Thank you, Mayor Whitener. We appreciate it, and we hope all the pumps get repaired and the water levels return to normal. And we'll await any notices from EPD as far as boiling the water. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, Mayor Donna Whitener, just to recap, City of Blue Ridge, just to recap, there is a diesel temporary pump running. The 2 pumps that are stationed there that are electric, one is completely out. One is going out, seems to be always around the 11 o'clock at night. Going out, there's no determination. There's been rumor that it was lightning, and that has not been determined. They have the pump company. They have several people up there, the manufacturers up there, trying to figure out why these pumps and the power source continues to they don't work. Simple as that. And so the water levels are at 1 day, and if the pump keeps running, we can be safe. Boil your water until you hear an EPD has tested the water and has lifted that. I'm your host, BKP. I'm going to take a break and regroup for our next story.